Hey everyone, I am back. It has been a little while. I've been extremely busy. So last week I was down in Phoenix again for work, and if any of you have been watching some of the other Flosstubers, they've all been going down to the retreat that was hosted by McKenna down in Phoenix this past weekend. And had I known that I was going to be there for work anyway, I probably would have signed up. Because it looks like they had a lot of fun. But truth be told, I was so sick of hotels that even if there was still room, I probably wouldn't have gone because I was just so tired of hotels and being away from the family. But it all looked like they were having so much fun. But I did delay my trip home. There was a blizzard here in Minnesota. It was kind of interesting that I think Monday it was like in the 60s and 70s, and then Thursday there's a blizzard, and I was actually supposed to come home Thursday. And instead of dealing with that whole rigmarole, sitting at airports for hours on end, I just decided to switch my flight to Friday. And what that allowed me to do then was to go visit the attic and sit with some stitchers for a little while. They do stitching on Thursday nights, or maybe it was just my luck and it was that Thursday night. I thought, well, why stitch in my hotel room when I can stitch in a lovely shop, inspired by all the samplers I'm surrounded by, if not other people. So they were very welcoming, and it was very nice to be there, and even if I was delayed getting home. And of course I couldn't leave that shop without buying things, so I will show you all of that. So at any rate, I will show you my haul. It is quite extensive. I mean, it's just a pile of stuff. So I'm going to start with the haul because that's what's on top, not because I arranged it in any order. So first I will show you this. So this is from the Prairie Moon. So Salty Yarns posted on their Facebook page that they had found these in their back storage room, and they were going to sell them at a 50% discount. So of course I called Sarah up and I said, yes, please. So look at this cute little tote it comes in. Didn't know that. And it comes with this lovely box. Isn't that cool? And then the pattern's in there. But yeah, for half price. She found a few of these, like 7 of them or something, and put the word out on Facebook, so had to get one of those. They just look too cool not to. So I picked up one of these. Then this was kind of funny. So I ordered some fabric. I won't tell you from who. It's hand-dyed fabric, and it's called White Lightning. And when I bought it, I thought, oh, you know, White Lightning, it's going to have some cool modeling on it or something like that. So this is what I got. Yep, it pretty much looks like white fabric to me. But this is actually hand-dyed fabric. So I'm not going to send it back or anything. Now I find this very funny, and I am going to use this for something special and to say, look at my hand-dyed white fabric. I love it. I love it. But yes, this is hand-dyed white fabric. So I got that. All right, and none of this is in any particular order. Off of eBay, so I've been looking for this pattern from the cross stitch issue, February 2002. I've seen a few people stitch this, and I thought it was so cute. So I found this on eBay, and so I obviously got it for that pattern, so I'm going to stitch that. Thought it was super cute. Then a couple samplers that I bought from the attic before I knew I was going down there, so they sent them to me. And I saw this, Jean, the owner, had posted, I think it was a Facebook video after she got back from market. She was showing some of the displays, but the displays weren't necessarily Nashville. And so after watching some of the video over and over and over again, I caught the name of the samplers on pause and close examination. So one of them was Prudence Pairing 1828. And of course, I've seen other pictures of this stitched and it looks amazing. And then this one is Lucy Schnuschel 1847. And I've actually seen, of course, you know, once you've seen it, you see other people with it. It's like, oh, I wish I would have seen that earlier, but I got it. So I love that red house. All right. I also picked up a few things from Saju. I saw these as part of market as well and wasn't able to partake and get one. And so one of my stitching friends noticed she saw some of these things on Etsy. So I went to Etsy and bought them. But one is this little box. Isn't it cute? And the top label comes in a lot of different colors, and I just happened to get the teal one. I love teal. This is one of the boxes I got. And then, speaking of boxes, so I'll put this all together here. I saw this box, so I didn't intend to really buy anything else but that, and of course you see other things and you gotta get it. So it comes off like this, and then you got this little cool thing here, so I'll pull that out. And then inside that is another little compartment. So I thought that was just really cute. So that's that. And then, yeah, there's more. Let's see if I can. They also had this cute little spindle measuring tape. Isn't that neat? And these also come in different colors, like pink and other things. Now, this was the only color she had on her website. And so I just figured, and there's that. So I just figured I would get this color, even though I probably preferred a different one. But again, just from a shipping perspective, it just made sense to order it all from the one seller. So I did that. Then I saw quite a few people with these waxers from Stacy Nash and her daughter. So I picked up a few of these. And actually I have one more that's not with my stuff. So anyway, I'm a little disappointed because I think in shipping it made a lot of contact with the front cover here, so you'll see a lot of residue, but it's still neat. And I also love that too. Look at how thick it is. But I'll probably hang this up somewhere. Okay, a few things that I got on Stash Unload. This is a Halloween year 2. I guess it's the April A Wicked Fancy Boot by Homespun Elegance. Of course, you all know I love Halloween. And here are the rest of the Halloween ones. This is Here's the Skinny on Halloween from Heart and Hand. And then this one, it's so funny. So at Stitchville, they have old models that Deb sells. And some of them she puts in the bathroom. And so, of course, you're sitting in the bathroom doing your thing, and you're looking at the models that are on display in the bathroom. And this was one of them. And, you know, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to buy the model. You know, and I kind of hummed and hawed about it for a long time. And I think she switches them out by season, so she might still have the model, she may not. But at any rate, I saw this for sale, and so of course I had to buy this. Because I'm assuming if she's selling the model, I'm thinking this is out of print, but maybe she's just not carrying it anymore. Unless you order it special. I I was at Three Kittens Needle Arts for a class, and I saw this project bag that is actually made by an Etsy shop owner in Minnesota. It's called the Daisy Girl Company. Look at that. Look at those horses. Just look at this. And it's huge. It's ginormous. So this is, again, a chart to kind of show you how big it is. Look at that. And I just loved it. So the Daisy Girl has an Etsy shop, but sometimes she makes some project bags that are specific to certain shops. This is the one that I saw at, again, Three Kittens Needle Arts in Mendota Heights. So this is where I got that. Love it. I'll probably put some of my needlework in here. Probably my class project, which I'll show you in a second. And while I was at Three Kittens, so I'm going to show you this real quick because it kind of all relates to the story. So I have organized all my threads, my specialty fibers. Look at all that. Because, you know, I'm buying duplicates of threads, not terribly bad, but there were some duplicates. Like I've got so much bark from Weeks Dye Works you couldn't even imagine. But anyway, and I have so much Weeks that they need to be on 2 rings. And these rings I get on Amazon, so you can buy a 10-pack for really cheap, like $6 or something. So I have them separated out by brand, and then in order by name. So each ring is a different brand. But at any rate, the reason I bring this up, especially with the bag from Three Kittens, are these lovelies. So yes, these are all Belle Soies. The Belle Soie silk. These are now 50% off at Three Kittens. So they still had a lot left. I mean, I don't think they carry every color, especially now that I bought all these, but they are all 50% off right now. So call down there, buy them out of their stock. They are also selling some needlepoint silks, but most of the colors are green, yellow, and purple, and like cinnamon reds. Their needlepoint silks are. So those are 50% off too, and I bought a few of those. I actually had a called for project that it was great that I actually dug through their clearance MPIs because yeah, but yep, all 50% off. So, you know, I wish I could have known every chart I had that called for Belle Soie silk so I could buy them. So instead I just thought, you know, what colors do I like? Obviously I stitch a lot of Halloween. I just thought these pinks were amazing. I'm going to be stitching that, oh gosh, I think it's the Ink Circles Squirrel one that just came out in Nashville, and I don't know, I just thought that was kind of cool. So I thought maybe I'd use this for that. I was actually hoping that they had maybe some more of these, or in a darker brown, but they did not. So, oh well. So I just ended up buying ones that I liked, and I have a few patterns that are going to need some pinks, so I'm good for those. 50% off. They're not going to carry, they're just clearancing them out, not going to carry them anymore. All right. Other things that I purchased. One is Susanna Lynch. So Stitchville didn't come back with this from Market, and then I asked Deb, I said, could you get this? And of course she said yes. So she got this for me. Now they also have this in a smaller pattern too, but I just love the whole thing. So, and I thought, you know, if I give up and only want to stitch the smaller one, I can do that off of the big one. Susanna Lynch, 1862, and this is from Lila Studios, and I didn't realize that they did samplers. Oh yeah. So Anyway, I love this one. I think this is one of my favorite samplers that came out at Nashville. All right, so Michelle Garrett, so Bendy Stitchy, was doing a fundraiser for multiple sclerosis, and as part of that, Emily C. From Eclectic Possessions was donating one of her project bags. And for those of you who don't know, I'm actually half Japanese, and I think maybe in a prior video we've talked about this. And the pattern of the fabric just spoke to me, because it looked like there were Asian type decorated bowls. In Japanese they're called ochawans, but they're just like, they look like rice bowls. And I just had to have it ever since I saw Emily announce that she was donating this bag to Michelle Garrett. And so as soon as, you know, and sometime later then Michelle did do the auction for the bag, and I want it. Isn't that cool? I mean, it just reminds me so much of, you know, my cultural heritage in Japan. I just loved it. So I had to get this bag, and plus who wouldn't love a bag made from Emily? So picked that up, got that. Was thrilled. And the other thing is, of course, Emily had mentioned in her video that she wasn't going to be making a lot of bags anytime soon in this fabric. So for a little while, I'll be the only one that has one for a little while. And in that vein of Japanese, I was looking at Sassy Jacks, and they actually had a Japanese sampler. So in the Japanese language, they have 3 different alphabets, and this is the most basic. This is what the kids learn in school very early on, and this is designed by Modern Folk. And again, it's called the Japanese Hiragana Sampler. And again, this is from Sassy Jacks. This artist also has a Etsy site, but I think he only sells the PDF versions. And I guess if I had my choice, I would prefer the hard copies. So when I saw Sassy Jacks carrying this, I bought it. So I might make it for my niece and nephew. They are in a Japanese language program out in California, so they know their alphabets, but I thought this might be cool for them someday. And of course, since they're young, you want to make this quicker. It's almost like a baby sampler, right? Time's ticking. And I could make this for my own girls too, but in Minnesota, the Japanese language learning opportunities are very slim. And so they're in Spanish immersion right now, not Japanese. I figured a language is a language. So, at any rate. So this next chart has a funny story. I won it on eBay, and I wasn't thinking I would win it on eBay. I put a bid out there, not thinking it would ever, you know, be the winning bid, and it was. I was like, someone's not going to outbid me. Why aren't they outbidding me? From the Permanent Needle. Is it Black de Ski? Skier? Yeah. Couldn't believe it. So I'll have to stitch this one up. I can't believe when this was released I didn't scoop this up. Because I got a lot of her charts when they first came out, before they became out of print after her death. And I'm surprised I didn't get this one. So happy to have gotten that. All right, a few other things from the attic that I bought. So I hummed and hawed about this. I'm not a deer fan, like an animal. I've got plenty of them out in my backyard. We live on a on a fairly big piece of wooded property, and there are deer all over the place. And not that I don't like them out there, but I don't know, stitching a deer was kind of a weird thing. And at first when I saw the sampler, it's like I liked everything but the deer. And I think I still feel that way, but I love the rest of the sampler more, that I think I'm going to have to stitch it. And, you know, I know there are plenty of people out there doing this one. It's the red deer sampler from Gigi. Pretty cool, huh? I just love all the flowers and just how close together they are, and I think it'll just be an amazing sampler, even with the red deer. Though I did see someone that converted the red deer to a brown deer, because I believe the stitcher, who is a gentleman, said there are only brown deers in Texas. Anyway, so I got that. Then I also got a couple pieces of fabric. So I do need to have my head examined. Not for what I'm first going to show you. So I got this. It's called Tundra. I think it's vintage Tundra, actually. But I just love the color, and I haven't seen it. And under the light, especially at the attic, it was a very pale, it was a blue, not so much a green that's showing now, but under like a white light, it comes off as very blue. And I just love this color. I don't know what I'm going to put on it, but I love this color. So I got that. Then this is the part where I need my head examined. This, people, is 53 count linen. I've never stitched on 53 count before. I don't use a magnifier either, so I might have to. I've picked 40 count now as my fabric of choice, but I really want to try this 53 count, and I got it for the Red Deer sampler. And it's so funny because Carolyn at the shop, she's like, you know, you might want to test that out on something smaller. And I was like, go big or go home. So I went big and I went home. Or big went small. This is small fabric. 53 count. I mean, and I do that too because you know, it seems like some of these samplers are so large that if you don't stitch them on smaller pieces, your framing is going to be unbelievably expensive. Not to mention the materials, because when you use 53 count, you can't just use DMC or General Arts or Belsoise. You have to use Tudor silks or the 100-3 silks. Those are the only threads that are thin enough to use on this kind of fabric. So, yeah. All right. So on to finishes. So I had this finished at my last video, but I didn't show people. So let me try this. It might show up orange because I'm holding up the project bag behind it. But this is called Christmas Joyride. And this is all finished. So this is part of the Stitch 9 challenge that Michelle Rudy started. And so I started and finished this one. I love the small motifs. Each one felt like a small finish, so it was very gratifying to do. And you know, you're almost sad when it's over. And yes, on this one too, I wasted a lot of fabric, which is usually not what I do. But at any rate, this is on just white opalescent fabric. You know, I wanted that snow kind of shimmer to it. But what else is really cool that I wanted to point out is the fabric, or the thread that I used for this top, the border here, the top and bottom border, as well as it's the same as her scarf and the gloves. So that is actually thread from my Japanese grandmother's stash. It's actually called Violet. And Violet used the same numbers as DMC did. I don't think they're in business any longer. So anyway, this thread, believe it or not, is probably older than I am. And I was wondering, God, is it gonna pull apart, or what is it gonna do? And it actually worked really, really well. But again, what's so special to me is that it was in my Japanese grandmother's stash thread that's older than I am, and I was able to use it as part of this project. So I thought that was cool. All right, so that's for finishes. Now for whips. I am kind of all over the place. And I think I'm officially going to have to bow out of the Stitch Shine Challenge. I'm still working on one of the pieces, but I have so many other things as I started, because of my analytical mind, I started to think about what I wanted to get done. There are a couple projects that I want to do as my kids are still young, like an advent calendar, a needlepoint advent calendar that I want them to be able to use during the Christmas holiday, and it's more fun to use when they're younger. So I'm trying, I want to get finished with that project. I'm not anywhere near done. Obviously I should have brought it, I'll take it out next time. It's a actual large piece, and then like an advent calendar works with each of the dates, you stick kind of a magneted needlepoint piece to it. And I think I have like 4 or 5 of the little ornaments done. So I still have, 20 or odd so of the ornaments to do, as well as the big piece that they put them on. And like I said, I really want to get that done while my kids are still relatively young. They're 5 and 7 now. So, I mean, needlepoint goes a lot faster than cross stitching. So I don't think it'll take me a lot of time, but it will take me enough time where I need to dedicate myself to that. So I think I'm going to do that. But there's one other whip that, I'll show you my other whips that I'm doing too that kind of bother me. So one of them is the Stitch 9 Challenge. This is my bus project, what I work on the bus. This is Eat Crow from, and I don't have the actual picture of the project. This is Eat Crow from Plum Street. This is how much I've gotten done. Boy, when you're on a plane, that orange goes really quick, but oh, that's a lot of orange. So, but it's coming along, all that orange, right? And this is stitching up quick. So, again, bus project. It's coming along really well. The non-bus project that I'm actually hoping to get done for a couple reasons. One, it is the longest stash that whip I've ever had. 14 years it's been in my stash. And, I was thinking about why it's been in my stash for so long, and I think it's because the way the project is with beads and specialty stitches on it, it's just not conducive when you have a family. Because, the beads might go everywhere. You can't leave stuff out. I don't know. That's my rationale anyway. Maybe it's just all an excuse. I don't know. So Amy, you will be very happy that I pulled this one back out. So this is the Chatelaine, the Medieval Town Mandala. So I'll pull this out again. So I showed this a while ago, maybe in my first or second video. And it's sideways. So this is the Medieval Town Mandala. And as you can see, there's a lot of it done. So I just need to finish this sucker up. And again, from last time, a lot of beading is left, though I have done a lot of beading here in the corners, especially here and here, specialty stitches and back stitching. So in the buildings where you see these white holes, like right here or where the windows are, there's specialty stitches that go into that. And so, and I got this in PDF form, this chart, and so I'd also have to pull up the chart and sit down in my chair. So it needs kind of a different setup than just in my stitching chair in front of the TV. So, anyway, so I'm determined to get this done. I'm hoping I can get it ready for the state fair, but it's cutting it tight. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, I need to be done with it. When I dug it out of all the numerous places I'm keeping my stuff. Like the beads had spilled out of their little containers, so I had to re-separate the beads, and you know, the pattern that I had printed out from the PDF, they looked so beaten up. I mean, 14 years of, you know, whatever. So it's just like, this project just needs to go, as in I need to finish it up, you know, assimilate the leftover fibers and beads in with the rest of my stash, and toss the PDF printed, you know, pattern, and use this bag for something else. So anyway, that's one of the whips. The other one is that class I was telling you about. So when I went to Three Kittens, it was actually to take a needlepoint class, and you know, I'm usually not a Christmas stitcher. I don't know why. I just am not. And when I saw this piece on display as they were, you know, advertising for the class, and of course there's one spot left, I had to do it. So this is a train. I don't know. Oh, this is a Rebecca canvas. But as you can see, so I'm stitching the bottom. You see this gold line at the top, the black line at the bottom. I've got these peppermint, or the candy cane stitched, and this line stitched, and part of the engine here. And then this Noel, I love this because this was done all in Krennic, and it was all cross stitch. So I'm like, psh, I can do that. That's easy. So I'm working on our homework, and the class is going to meet 3 times every other week. Of course, the last 2 classes I'm going to miss because I have other obligations, but they allow you to go to some of their evening classes to get caught up. So that teacher is doing those evening, you know, stitching classes. So I will probably go at that point to, you know, get any further instruction from her brain that I can to finish that. But it looks so cute. I mean, what she's going to do with the rest of this is just amazing. So, yeah. So that's what I got. It's a lot of stuff. I also signed up for a class. So Jackie Duplessis is teaching here for the Needlework Guild of Minnesota in May. So I'm attending 2 of her classes there. And then actually the Needlework Guild of Minnesota just sent out their registration for their annual retreat, and Kathy Halberman is going to be one of the designers who will be teaching classes. So of course I signed up for 2 of her classes over 3 days, and I'm just excited for the chance to finally meet her. Hopefully I get into her classes, but I'm all signed up for those, just waiting on confirmation that I was able to get in. And I'm also signed up for another needlepoint class at the end of July, so they're coming at a very good clip. I need to stop. I think the only month I don't have something booked is maybe September, and I don't need to book anything. And it's going to, so you've seen my bunny needlepoint projects in some of the prior videos. This one's going to be a cat, a black Halloween cat. So once that comes, I will show you pictures. I'm crazy, just crazy. So I have reevaluated, like I said, my life of stitching and what I'm going to be stitching on, and the priorities are going to be the medieval town mandala from Chatelaine, as well as that advent calendar for my girls. And then, you know, I'm stitching on the train now just because it is part of a class, so I want to get to certain points. So I think the lessons build upon each other. So I want to be able to take those lessons and incorporate them in, just so I have enough that when I put it away and then take it back out again, I can finish. But, oh, excuse me, it's late. This is stitching up rather quickly. So anyway, I'm excited to be back in the office tomorrow, which is Monday. It's nice to be back in town. I'll be going to Charlotte again in May, so there are no shops to visit nearby. So I can either stop there or show you my haul. So at any rate, I hope you are all finding your joy, and getting a lot of stitching in. Take care. Bye.